Can we call the board to order? Clerk, please
Mics
call
are
the roll.
hot.
Yeah. He did say that.
Trustee McDowell.
Here.
Trustee Taylor.
Here.
Trustee Deteen.
I'm here.
Clearly. Trustee McKinney.
Here.
Chairman Neal.
Here. First, there are no agenda changes to be submitted, so the first item is approval of the minutes of the regular meeting held on June 16, 2015 at 6:30 p.m. Is there a motion?
Move to approve the minutes.
Motion, is there a second? Motion is second. Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee McDowell.
Aye.
Trustee Taylor.
Aye.
Trustee Deteen.
Aye.
Trustee McKinney.
Aye.
Chairman Neal.
Are there any citizens' comments tonight? Yes, come on up, or Mr. Brumner.
Thank you, ma'am. With your permission, I would ask Mr. Wickets 2 questions.
Sure.
The quadrennial reassessment.
Yes,
First, sir, who does that?
I do that. I revalued all the properties in the entire township. I'm able to go through my spiel. I turned in my books last week. I revalued all the properties, all commercial, all industrial, and all residential properties. You'll probably see, everybody's gonna see some sort of change, either going up and down, or down, depending on what neighborhood you're in.
Well, that answers both of them.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Excellent. Any other citizens' comments? Hearing none, the next item on the agenda is authorized bills for payment. Trustee Deteen.
Well, I had the wonderful opportunity this afternoon to meet with the supervisor and her staff and go over the bills that they had for the past month. And I'm honored to ask the council or the trustees to approve the total bills of $99,602.42. Put that in a motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee McDowell.
Aye.
Trustee Taylor.
Aye.
Trustee Deteen.
Aye.
Trustee McKinney.
Aye.
Chairman Neal.
Aye. And just for the record, we set it on the schedule that the day of the meeting, every month at 3 o'clock, Trustee Deteen, Larry Wickets, myself, and Gail Bottomans get together and we review everything
Thank you.
and rake through and see if there's any questions. So I appreciate, and he asks a lot of hard questions, let me tell you, so we appreciate it very much. Next item on the agenda is to open up for a public hearing for appropriation ordinance of Township of Zion for fiscal year May 1st, 2015 through April 30th, 2016. So do we need a motion for that?
You just declared it.
Okay, it is now declared open at 6:32. Are there any public comments in the public hearing? Going once, going twice, 3 times. Okay, declare the public hearing closed. Item 8, consider approval of 2015-02 appropriation ordinance of Township of Zion for fiscal year May 1st, 2015 through April 30th, 2016. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? I just want to share with you what we submitted this year. Even though we have an ending balance, we are currently, our budget is over by $81,414 for the year in the town fund and $81,487 over budget in the general assistance fund. Our revenues have decreased so substantially. We've been able to hold our own because we had a little bit of a surplus when this mess hit. So we've been able to stay afloat, but not by much. So huge concern over the concept that the governor's pushing to freeze all the property taxes because for each of the taxing bodies, because we've been holding our breath waiting for things to turn. So if that doesn't happen, we're going to have to make some different, harder decisions, and I don't know what those will be, but just to give you a heads up on that. General, the town fund is 81,414, and GA is 81,487. It'll still leave us at the end of the year in the town fund with the ending balance of $190,837 in town fund and $192,407 in general assistance. So, but it's never good to be budgeting more than your actual yearly,
Sherry, where do you see those fund balances?
in the appropriation ordinance? Do you have that? Do they have that?
What page?
So it would be on page 1
Oh,
is the revenues and expenditures for town fund.
okay.
And then on page 6 for the general assistance. Total revenues, total funds available, and then total expenditures.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Trustee Taylor?
Aye.
Trustee DeTeen?
Aye.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
And Chairman Neal?
Aye. Item 9, consider passing ordinance 2015-03, authorizing execution of the Zion Power Station partial agreement per Chairman Neal. I'd like to defer to Assessor Wickets, if you just want to give a,
Well, this is pretty much the same thing you guys agreed on a couple of weeks ago as far as the city council. It's the agreement that the taxing bodies have come up with for the power plant. I think everybody's pretty much on board. I think the value is a fair value considering the property. I didn't really determine this value. This was a 2-year effort with the attorneys and Exelon. I feel good about this value, and I think we should move forward on it.
excellent. I just appreciate all the hard work you've done over the last couple of years, Larry, with this. I know that it's been a lot of time and effort to come up with something like this, so thank you.
It has been a grueling process. I just have a question. Sonalita noticed that the NRC was going to open up the special, or the use permit deliberation again. So I thought it was closed, but did you see that? Okay, so they're gonna open that up again and allow citizen input. I went to that meeting where they had allowed for citizens input, and I talked about the city of Zion's position on it. But they basically said we didn't have much say in how that permit is played out. It's really about the nuclear fuel, the waste there. It's not about the city's role in that. But they're opening up the discussion again, and the question I have is, does that make any difference in approving this tonight because they have allowed us to make more comments about it? Do you know anything about that?
I don't think so. I think this is a separate thing. This is about the value of the property. I don't think that closes off any other litigation or anything else that may come up in the future. This is basically an agreement on, in fact, the mayor pointed this out, and this is really an agreement for taxes for the next 4 years. I could have a value of $10 on there. They still agreed to pay this much in taxes for the next 4 years to the next quad. And then the next quad, we'll look at it and see where we are. Maybe there's other ways to get value out of it. Maybe it's not personal property. But I think that right now this is the best option for us.
Okay, thanks.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
You need a motion.
Oh, just, is there a motion?
I make a move that we approve it. Second.
Okay.
The motion is to approve?
Pardon?
Approve, you say?
Yes.
Any further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Trustee Taylor?
Aye.
Trustee DeTeen?
Aye.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
And Chairman Neal?
Aye.
And Larry, I'll need your signature on this agreement tonight, please.
Oh.
Jim Rock also will send it to him.
I will sign it.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, assessor's report.
Well, like we've mentioned, it is a quad and all the values are changing. Some are going up, some are going down. I want everybody to remember that these values are determined by the 2012, 2013, and 2014 sales. We look at all the sales, we kind of average them together, and we decide what types of houses are going up and what are going down. I feel pretty good about all these values. I turned my books into the county. They reviewed all the work that I did, and they still bumped all the values up another 1.5%. So the values I determined, they thought, well, they're a little bit low, so they bumped them up 1.5%. The assessment notices will be mailed out on August 3rd, You have to remember that you have 30 days to file an appeal. Please come into my office before you do anything as far as going to attorney or tax rep or anything like that. We're more than happy to help. Also, we are going to be open on the 8th, the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th. Those are Saturdays. We'll be open from 8 to 12. So I encourage anybody to come in. Anybody come in. We just want to help you. And if we can't come to a New Valley conclusion, then we'll show you how to file an appeal with the Board of Review. But please don't spend money on tax reps or attorneys. We can do it here for free.
Thank you. I especially appreciate that because, man, some of the horror stories
Some
of
people
people
are having
that.
some horror stories with some tax reps and attorneys, and they're taking 50% of their savings. So if they save them $3,000 or $4,000, they don't realize that their bill is going to be over $1,000 or $1,500. I could do the same thing for nothing, and I really encourage that. I'm going to hire people from other offices to work on Saturdays, so it's just not going to be my staff. It's going to be people that are a little impartial. You got to come in and you got to talk about your assessments.
How do we get a message like that out to our citizens, those that might not be aware of that?
Well, your assessment notices are going to get mailed. Everybody gets a notice mailed to their house. It's also published in the newspaper on the 4th of August. I'll put something on my webpage. The county will have something on their webpage. I'll put an article in the paper as far as having open houses on Saturdays. And everybody's encouraged to come in. Even if you think your assessment's okay, come on in and see how the process works. I mean, that's what we're here for.
Do we do anything on Facebook too, given that so many people follow
I
that?
don't go on Facebook.
Well, our office does have Facebook, and if you could create a flyer, we could get it over to Kevin with the seniors, and then we could post it on our Facebook page too.
But as much as we can, we want to let people know that to come into the office before they hire an attorney or a tax rep. It's a little different with commercial and industrial properties. Obviously, they have staffs of attorneys and tax reps, but the normal person that has a house in the township, come on in. And it's important because once the 30 days is up, that's it. There's no way to appeal your assessment then.
Sherry, a question. Given that we have 30%, I think pretty close of Hispanic population, will we have assessors or people that can speak in Spanish about those issues as well?
I always grab somebody from the water department.
Okay.
But if it becomes that much of a problem or an issue, I can always call the county office and they can give me a hand. And I've thought about this. I'm trying to hire somebody that does speak Spanish.
Sure.
And that may be something in the future. It's just not in the budget right now. But we'll help any way we can.
Yeah.
I explain the assessment process to many 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds because they bring their children in. I try to tell them what the assessment process is by going through a 7-year-old. But we encourage anybody to come in and we'll help as much as we can. One more point, speaking of the Spanish people, the forms are online in Spanish.
Okay, great.
So if you go to the county website, you can get them in Spanish.
Excellent. There might be an opportunity. The Zion School District now has translators that are on their staff. So it might be an opportunity to hire
That'd be
somebody.
something to consider for Saturdays, just to
Yeah.
have them in on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Just
That
in
would
case.
be,
That's a really good
I
point.
had spoken with Chris Clark about that several months ago, and just trying to use some of their staff members. And she said there will be an expense involved with it.
Right.
So.
Right, but I think that those that they hired at the grade school district are all Zion residents. So, to hire somebody, contract with them to come in to do that might be kind of a simple thing.
we'll see. 3 days, 4 weeks ago after we're public. That's it for me.
That's it?
Okay.
Excellent. Okay. Next item is supervisor's report. You have in front of you our service report for May and June. Just gives you an overview of what's been going on in our office, and this information is posted on our website every month as well. Incoming calls, In May, we had 247. In June, we had 314. In May, we had 74 walk-in clients. In June, we had 85. We have 17 general assistance clients. It is definitely going to go up with emergency assistance because of the state funding with utility services. The LAHEAP program, they have pulled all the funding from that, and it's still in limbo, so we'll wait to see what happens with that. But there's a lot of concern about that program, so we'll see how it impacts us after that changes. So the summer work program is coming to a close. The focus this year was on building a foundation of a work ethic and integrating our 6 community character words: respect, perseverance, responsibility, integrity, safety, and kindness. We had 4 incredible supervisors that are all, 3 of them work at Zion High School and 1 works at Grays Lake North. I also want to give a shout out to Gil Laudemans. She completely revamped the program this year. What it used to be was we would hire 4 supervisors and we would have a work list and the kids would go out and do the work. This year we changed our philosophy about it in that we hired 4 mentors and the focus was on teaching the kids a work ethic. We got the work done, but the focus wasn't on the work, it was on the work ethic. And just the responses we've had from the kids have been huge. Focusing on the different words, one of the supervisors came in and he said that they were out scraping picnic tables for the park district and repainting them, and one of the kids that's kind of, you know, one of the more connected ones, he was scraping the table and he went, I think I get this. I think what you're trying to explain to us. He said, so last weekend I was at a picnic here and my 1-year-old niece was trying to pull the paint chips off of the picnic table and eat them. By us scraping and repainting the picnic tables, we're being responsible and safe, aren't we? And it just, you know, I mean, with these 14 and 15-year-olds don't usually go there, you know, they're too busy trying to be cool among each other to really embrace some of this stuff. So the supervisor was really excited about that. We started we're doing a newsletter, one for the first 3 words and one for the second 3 that you each have, just to share some of the highlights of the program. The awards dinner is this Friday night at 5:30 at the Shiloh Center at the Zion Park District, especially if any of the trustees would be interested in attending, or the mayor. If you'd like to attend, we would love to have you there. Additionally, the Coalition for Healthy Communities was selected to receive a generous grant from Vital Smarts to educate 25 community leaders from across our community with the corporate training Crucial Conversations. It is intended for our community to be a model of how to address difficult conversations that separate us and truly be an example of what can happen when people learn how to overcome barriers. So the training is going to be held at the end of August and early September, and 25 key leaders have been chosen to do this training with the plan for them to each reach out to 2 additional people in the community so that we can really start to address some of the harder conversations that need to be had in our community. So we're looking forward to that program. The Zion Benton Leadership Academy participants have been chosen. Their names will be shared next month when we kick off the program. Additionally, the Zion Benton Community Character is looking for nominations for people who are caught living out the character traits of respect, perseverance, responsibility, safety, integrity, and kindness. Send nominations to zbcharacterclub@gmail.com. If you catch somebody, we had a guy he brought somebody for an appointment and he was just sitting in our lobby at the Township. We had another gal that was disabled that came in. Somebody had donated a wheelchair. So we brought it up from the basement and one of the wheels didn't work. This guy's just sitting there minding his own business, and he gets up and he says, I can do this. And he takes the wheel off the one wheelchair and puts it on the other one. Then he notices the armrest, trades out those 2. And this woman was not a small woman, and he scooped her up and he put her in the wheelchair, and then he pushed her out to her car. Way above and beyond the call of duty. Yeah. So my administrative assistant, Sandra, caught it, and we caught a picture of him and we nominated him. So, you know, in the news, people, you know, the news broadcasters, they cram 30 minutes of everything that's bad going on in the country and pump it into our brains. And I know that we have 100 times more really incredible things that go on in our community. So I challenge everybody to catch somebody doing something well and then forward it to ZB characterclub@gmail.com. So, or contact Zion Township and we can forward it for you. So, just sharing that. And last but not least, the next ZB Run will be on Saturday, September 5th during Jubilee Days. And it is a color run, so you don't need to, there's not going to be timed, it's just going to be for fun. So come out and get covered in cornstarch color and have a ball and support the Zion Park District Foundation. So that is all I have. Is there anything else to come before the board? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Motion second. Discussion. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Trustee Taylor?
Aye.
Trustee DeSine? Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Okay, what am I signing?